Hey guys, well, I'm gonna start a little bit early. I'm killing the music, it's killing me. As fun as it is, I'm just killing it completely because I can't focus with it on, as ridiculous as that is. How's it going? I know, I'm so well dressed for these live streams, it just happens to work out. But first off, how's it going? Like, what an incredible last 24 hours it was. Bitcoin pumping up a ton. And it's great to see all of you here. If you haven't already, hit like on the live stream so that way it pushes it out. Share it with other people. You guys have been hilarious about sharing videos and stuff like that with people lately. So thank you. It's been really good. So let's get the likes up and then we're going to get into it. I'm basically going to be going through, let me get the right window first. Here we go. I haven't done the analysis yet, or the summary yet, but basically I've already shared all of my thoughts that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today on Discord in the Better Traders Club in the market analysis. Basically everything we're talking about today right now is basically what I just posted, but there's also another bit of news I'm going to share with you later. I'm not going to forget. But we're going to be talking about a lot of coins and charts. So we need to get into it first, starting with BTC. Now, if you guys have watched my head and shoulders video, you should know that there are two things that I'm really looking for in order to invalidate that. I need to get the right chart, don't I? Here we go. Let's hide the TBO. Let's hide TBD divergence. Awesome. So the thing I said in regards to this, if 91K broke, appears is not a break. A break is closing below support. It did pierce, it did drop down here to like what, 89 something or other, 89,164 on Monday. What a week, good grief. From 89K all the way up to 100K. Now, the other thing I said is that if we don't close below here and the price pushes up, and there's another and there. It's like a conditional statement for like Google Sheets or whatever. So, and I see lots of questions that are coming in about bot trading. I see lots of questions about charts. Drop the questions, drop the charts. I'm probably going to cover the charts that you want to see, but go ahead and drop the questions down there and I will be talking about them. And again, like the live stream, share it with people, retweet or what do we say now on X? Everyone says retweet, but it's not a tweet anymore. What are they? I don't know. Re-X. But anyway, the thing that I said in regards to this head and shoulders pattern, as ugly as it admittedly is, I really want to see the price of Bitcoin meet or rather exceed the right shoulder. And the current high price right here is 102,000. I really want to see the price of Bitcoin go up to at least 102K, really 103K. That would invalidate the head and shoulders. Head and shoulders goes bye-bye. And we're all really happy. So we're not seeing that yet. But yesterday's move was very euphoric. Moving up 4% in a day is a big deal for Bitcoin. Big deal for Grandpa BTC. Now, the other thing that I pointed out in my live stream with Guy and Nick on the Coin Bureau trading channel last week was this. So for all of you that are like, well, that head and shoulders drawing was terrible. Like the left shoulder was blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, that's discrimination against left shoulder, people that don't have left shoulders. Let's be real. Come on, guys, cut them some slack. But that left shoulder, I don't care what you think, it's still a head and shoulders. It's ugly. It's ugly. So let's say, okay, that's not a really valid head and shoulders. Cool. What about this? That looks pretty bad to me. What do you think? Yeah, this is called a descending wedge. This is a bearish chart. I mean, I know that Bitcoin it hit $100,000 again, but as far as TA goes, this is bearish. Now, what would change this? Yes, Omar, I see your question. Can you show some real results of your bot performance? I am going to be today. So what would change my mind on this is Bitcoin pushing above here. If Bitcoin can push above this overhead resistance level right here, it totally invalidates this descending wedge, and it will invalidate the head and shoulders that I just got rid of. Because if the price goes up that much higher, it's going to basically invalidate that. So this is like the best case scenario is BTC pushing up right here, but it needs to push up a little bit higher. That's why on Discord, I told everyone, Like, this is critical. Like, we also are making it even more difficult for ourselves, guys, because when it comes to trading, so many people get stuck focusing on the charts. They're looking at, okay, well, we have this happening, we have this Fibonacci level, we have this support level, we have this indicator saying this, where really it comes down to a lot of really simple group think, group psychology analysis. $100,000 is a lot of zeros. Count them. How many zeros and $100,000? Count the cents. I did not buy this mug for myself, by the way. My wife bought this for me, but it's hilarious and I love it. So you guys don't understand that it doesn't have to be that hard. Yes, we can draw tons of fib levels. Yes, we can draw tons of resistance levels. Yes, we can use the TBO, RSI, on balance volume. We can use Wyckoff. We could use Elliott waves. But really, $100,000 is a pretty major psychological level of resistance. Therefore, this makes a lot of sense that BTC is struggling to push above $100,000 right now. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen today. Today is literally the make it or break it day. If Bitcoin for some reason is not going to push up and push above this resistance level, which honestly I think it's going to be pretty hard for Bitcoin to do, we're going to go down and probably revisit 95K. And that's the next thing we have to see. If today we don't push above overhead resistance, and again, that would be closing above $100,000, which is already admittedly quite difficult. We have a pretty bad start to this day's candle. That's a pretty solid rejection, even though the price admittedly did pierce right here. If it doesn't do that, we're going to see Bitcoin probably drop back down here to 96, 95K, and then we're just going to do this. But I expect Bitcoin to try again. Try again. We'll probably see if it doesn't push above. Again, I want it to, but if it doesn't push above, then it's going to come back down here, probably to 92K, balance or do something like this, and it's going to try again. And eventually, I do believe it will break to the upside. The main thing we have going for us, and I'm getting ahead of myself because I was supposed to film the video today and schedule it out tonight, is the Trump pump. So Donald J. Trump, like him or hate him, he is certified as the 47th president of the United States. He has repeatedly said that he is very pro-crypto. He has a lot of promises for day one. Some of them are actually crypto related. So I think this is the market's response to some of that anticipation, but really this is a response to CPI numbers, the consumer price index numbers that are released by the United States. Why, oh why does the United States control so much of the cryptocurrency market? It's awful, right? I hate it. Rygom, I love your enthusiasm and your optimism. It's usually bearish the first opening hours. Okay. I'm fine with that. Please understand, I am not a bearish person. I mean, dear Lord, down there, where, like right there, it says Moon in Papa. Like, I like charts that go up. I like bull markets. I like it when prices go up, but I'm also a realist. I've long gone to the days where I used to be a perma bull and just got got myself hyped up, got a lot of people hyped up. No. I would rather look at the real deal, what's happening. So let's go back to this. In just a couple of days, for me, it's January 16th because I live in the future. I'm in Tokyo. So it's the 16th. So we got 4 days till Trump's inauguration. A lot could happen between now and then. I do expect the markets to pump. Maybe this is part of it. It's not really, it's the CPI numbers, but I expect Bitcoin to pump just like everything else pumped and went crazy when Trump was nominated. Not nominated, excuse me, when he won the election. Back here, November 6th, we had an almost a 9% candle, single day candle. That was crazy. And this really started a massive move up. I expect the same thing to happen. But again, short term, if BTC doesn't break above resistance today, then we're most likely going to fall down to like 95K and we'll kind of chop sideways. But then Monday comes, even though the textbook example, or rather the textbook, outcome for a chart like this, it's usually going to be breaking support, falling lower. That's the textbook outcome for a bearish descending wedge. But given the fact that we know what's happening on Monday, I'm expecting the market to react positively. Now let's look at a couple of other things to give us a little bit better of a picture. So we're looking at overhead resistance. Okay, got it. So is the chart really that bearish? According to the TBO, this indicator right here, the trending breakout indicator, which is fantastic. I've been using this thing since 2018, I believe. That's crazy. The slow line, which is the slowest moving average, is pointing super strong up and has been, even though we've been in a crazy period of chop right here. Okay, so the reality of where we are with BTC is that Bitcoin is still bullish. It might take some time for Bitcoin to push above, but the fact is that it's back above the TBO daily cloud, which is good. The slow line is pointing up. That's awesome. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, people that are in the Better Traders Club, and if you're watching my updates and paying attention, we got one of these orange dots right there. I know there's a lot of symbols, but this orange dot is a reversal symbol, a bullish reversal symbol. That is called a TBO. Let me hide everything so you can see it. Everything. These are TBO close shorts. They tell us two things. They are basically an indicator that the open short position from BTC, or rather from the TBO, we could be seeing a reversal. Therefore, you might want to take some profits out of your short because the price could be pumping. We see the opposite of that with TBO closed longs. Here's another example of them working out really well back here in early January. We saw two of these guys, and then the price of Bitcoin shot up 8%. Here we are. Here's another one, and the price of Bitcoin shot up 6%. Now, I really don't want to see this happen, just like you all don't. But again, today is the day. If Bitcoin's going to do anything fantastic, it needs to push up higher. That's what it is. And I know that literally the hour, or rather today's candle is still just, or not still, it's only been open for 52 minutes as of the filming of this video. So there's still a lot that can happen over the next day. All right. So that's a bullish sign that we got right there. All right. That's one thing that's really great. Another thing that's great is looking at RSI. Daily RSI has actually been working in our favor. Yes, I chart RSI. I think daily RSI, weekly RSI, it's worth charting. 4-hour, it gets a little bit risky because the longer the time frame, the stronger the signals. So the main things that I'm seeing that are really, really good here, daily RSI pierced above resistance. That's great. And again, it did it today. This is great. The best thing though is that we have this line of support. Isn't that wild? For all of you that are chartists, did you ever think that you could actually chart RSI? Probably not, but it's amazing at how well it works. Now you can't chart every single indicator, I'm sorry, but with RSI it works extremely well because we want to identify these moments of divergence where the price is doing one thing, RSI is doing another thing. It gives us an indication of what could, or rather what the outcome could be. So given the fact that Bitcoin has been choppy, but we see consecutively higher lows. There's a low, higher low, higher low. This is a bullish sign from RSI, which stands for the relative strength index. So if the relative strength of Bitcoin is growing over and over, even with the pullbacks, it's not setting a newer low. There is bullish strength accumulating for this chart with RSI. So this is why I'm taking the time to point it out. Even though we're at a very, in my opinion, we're at a difficult crux in the price action, like right here, or rather a junction, however you want to call it, a fork in the road. It's not great, but RSI is looking good. Now let's bring in another one. On balance volume. I love on balance volume because, again, just like RSI, this is a free indicator. The way I use on balance volume and set it up is I just use OBV and an OBV based moving average. I use a smooth moving average with a length of 21. And the reason why this is great is because this is showing me cumulative volume. When we have green days, OBV goes up. Red days, OBV goes down. It's really simple. But the moving average confirms the bullish direction or the bearish direction or a complete lack of a trend. Now, the good thing that's happening, and I have to zoom in to emphasize the direction right now, and it's not fully confirmed. This moving average is just getting started, but the fact of the matter is that on balance volume on the daily time frame, made a higher high than we saw back here on January 6th. It really needs to exceed this high right here on December 17th. Going to the chart, December 17th is when we saw our current all-time high just north of $108,000. Let me hide these two so we can just see this, okay? So we're actually doing really well in terms of on-balance volume. It's at quote-unquote resistance. It needs to push up higher. If we close green and above today, it's going to go way above here, in my opinion. It will be a very, very exciting daily candle, and on-balance volume will reflect that 100%. So there's that cooking. There's another good thing that's happening behind the scenes. On the, let's see. Okay, now I need to move on to other charts. I love paying attention to dominance levels. For all of you that are in the Better Traders Club, you know this because I talk about them every single week in my weekly market analysis videos. And I also talk about it in my updates in the market analysis channels when I do those like 4 days a week, and I give a summary and I repost it to X and other places, right? The reason why dominance is such an important thing to follow is because this is showing us how the crypto pie is shifting and changing. We have the entire crypto pie like this, and Bitcoin dominance is usually going to be, let me redraw this. It's usually going to be greater than half. Ugh, I just did it again, didn't I? Something like this, right? So this is Bitcoin dominance. Right now it's 57%. It has been as high as 75% or more, which is crazy, seeing Bitcoin dominance that much. But the main thing we need to know about this is that this is going to be a very, very exciting time, because the more we see stablecoin dominance fall, and it's already not very large. It's only 5.3% of the total crypto market cap. That means that there's an extreme absence of fear right now, which is good. We have seen these spikes, but honestly, when we see stablecoin dominance dump, like we saw in November because of the Trump election pump, or the election results, look at how much stablecoin dominance dumped from November 6th, right here. We saw it drop massively, which is great, all the way down here to 4.81%. It fell 30%. What happened during this time? Alts went absolutely crazy. This is when we saw XRP shoot up to $2.80, something like that. This is when we saw Stellar Lumens or XLM. We saw Litecoin, we saw Bitcoin shoot up, Ethereum, Solana kind of did. Ethereum, not really, let's be honest. But we saw so many other coins go crazy. And as soon as we get a reversal symbol over here on stablecoin dominance, and reversal symbols look, see that orange dot right there? That's our TBL close short. It's a reversal, bullish reversal signal. But when we see stablecoin dominance moving up, that's a sign of fear coming back into the market. Now, I'm hoping and waiting for stablecoin dominance to fall down here. This is my target down here, below 5%. If it can shoot and fall down here, then this is basically our bull market flag. This is where things are going to get absolutely crazy again for alts, but it's not there yet. It did break support, which is good. This is almost an inverse reaction of what we're seeing for Bitcoin's daily RSI, right? We're seeing stablecoin dominance fall over and over. We're not seeing it make newer highs. This is a good thing. So even if you don't understand all the stuff I'm sharing right now, the fact of the matter is that this is a good thing for Bitcoin. We want to see stablecoin dominance fall, ideally down here to 5% and way lower. The less stablecoin dominance is taking up the entire crypto market cap, the more Bitcoin and everything else will be pumping. Now, because Bitcoin did a very big thing. Now, what do we think happened here with Bitcoin dominance? Amazingly enough, this is the dream outcome right now. Everything that's happening right now is so good. It's just that Bitcoin is struggling literally right now with this $100,000 amount, okay? Bitcoin dominance, we can also draw support and resistance lines, which we should. We can see that yesterday, it wicked into it, so it pierced the level a bit, but there was a severe rejection right there. This is a good thing, you guys. We want to see this happen. We want to see Bitcoin dominance fall. because Bitcoin dominance falling and stablecoin dominance falling. These are bullish signs for others, which has been stuck. Others has been in the dumpster, burning and roasting. Yes, while there was a little bit of an excitement yesterday to see alts pumping and moving up a little bit, not enough. Like, that was not it, guys. The signal that we're waiting for is for others dominance to shoot above the TBO cloud, which is bullish, by the way. I'm going to show you a couple of things about this, but the main outcome we're waiting for is others dominance to come up here to this red overhead line of resistance, move above, close above, and push up a lot higher. That will be the major bull rally signal. And we're not even close to that yet. When I made that video about the altcoin signal on the Coin Bureau trading channel, I think a lot of people got really excited about it, which it's a good thing to get excited about, but we're not there yet. We're just not there. Now, I want to tell you something that will give you a little bit of comfort. When we think about, there's that trend line. When we look at the TBO indicator, it can be admittedly quite confusing. I'm actually going to simplify it to its easiest to understand form, okay? We're only going to focus on the cloud. And what I define the cloud as is basically all of this stuff. It's this mass, these four lines that comprise of the cloud. Now, the simplest way to understand the TBO, again, it has four different moving averages, and the slowest one determines the strength of the trend at hand. So when we see others dominance falling in June, July, August, we see, even if there are little bounces and reversals, if our slow line is pointing down, that's a big problem. But when we see these pushes right there, see that? The push above the cloud, just like the Ichimoku cloud, this is a good push above the cloud, but we really need to see a major shift, not just in others dominance, which we saw, but we need to see a change in this, the slow line. And look what happens right here. See that? Now we have this happening. And I want to remove the TBO just to show you. This is just a gross drawing of this slow moving average. But what's happening now is that others dominance used to be below the trend. So it's strong bearish. We saw a little bit of a test, a big major push in November. We saw a little bit of a pullback here in December, but we're still holding above. And what's the direction now? The direction is up. This is good, even though it's not super duper strong bullish. Even though the slow line isn't just going like up, like that, like crazy, it's actually a good sign. Even though the TBO doesn't look incredible and the price doesn't look amazing because it's chopping inside of it, even though RSI doesn't look incredible, neither does on balance volume, we have this one thing telling us that the macro trend for others dominance is up. This is big. Again, going back to the idea of a big pie for dominance. If others dominance is showing that we have these signs that are macro bullish, then it's just a matter of time. It's a waiting game. And we're going to be looking at tons of these other altcoin charts today that are showing all of these early bullish reversal signals, whether it's with the TBO or the TBT bullish diversion signal, okay? Before we get there, a lot of you have joined. It's great to see you. Share the video, like the video, drop a comment on what you want me to cover. I'm seeing a lot of really good stuff here. I don't want to get distracted. I want to keep going. So we're just going to keep pushing ahead. So the main thing that I'm excited about right now in regards to others dominance, okay, is RSI. Now, why RSI? Again, I just did this with Bitcoin. For all of you that are just tuning in and you're like skipping to this part, I want to explain something again really easy with RSI. This is going to make it so much simpler. RSI is showing the relative strength of every single chart. Dominance, Dixie, it's a percentage, it's a price, doesn't matter. When we see consecutively higher lows, especially on the daily time frame, this is a sign of bullish strength building, even with major price pullbacks. And I say price because this is a dominance. This is a percentage-based chart. When we see consecutively higher lows on RSI, this is our bullish signal. That it's as easy as that, okay? The main thing that we need to understand about this is that we're also going to see during this time, and let me try to simplify this as best I can, we're going to see wild swings in the price, quote unquote, because it's, again, percentage. we can see big swings here, right? But what's happening in the macro level, at the macro level, is that making consecutively higher lows on daily RSI is a good sign that agrees with the TBO's macro view. So it's not just the TBO, RSI agrees with us as well. Now we still need to see a bigger impulse and a bigger shift, and we haven't seen that shift happen yet in regards to the shift here on, like, compared to total and others. Others is still inside of the TBO cloud. It's still struggling with RSI based resistance. There's no clear trend, although right here the slow line's pointing up. So this is what's giving me hope and confidence to continually buy the dip on all these altcoin charts. Okay, this is why I keep expecting there to be a bullish outcome, because there's a lot of momentum building, and it would be very strange for things to all of a sudden just dump out of nowhere. So as unpleasant, there we go, back to 100K, good. As unpleasant as this price action might feel, this slight little like tinge of, oh no, are we actually going to dump? There's so much bullish energy growing. Okay, now I need to go over here to TradFi. We need to talk about this because this is also going to demystify a little bit about what's going on right now. Now, admittedly, I don't know everything there is to know about every single TradFi chart, the bonds, all that fun stuff, but I have noticed that the dollar index, the US dollar index, is one of the best and easiest to understand charts when it comes to seeing a direct impact on the stock market, which is a very large market compared to the crypto market. Now, one thing that I want you to understand about this, it's the same concept that I just shared with the others dominance chart in regards to RSI making consecutively higher lows. Remember that? Now I want you to look at this chart. We'll just take this away. We'll make it as easy as possible. We're seeing a chart moving up more and more and more. However, look at RSI. We're seeing consecutively lower highs. This one got me freaked out, I'm not gonna lie. But look, this recent push up to a higher high, now we have a lower high on RSI. This is divergence. When we see the price moving up, but RSI dropping, this is actually a very bearish chart. Even though it continues to push up higher and cause so much pain and havoc on the stock market, on the S&P, on the Dow, on the NASDAQ, on the FANG index, on world currencies like the euro, and on the yen, where that hits me home the most. But the truth is that there is weakness forming on the dollar, which is good. The fact that CPI numbers came in quote unquote soft today was actually a good thing. And that's what caused not just the dollar index to dip a little bit, but it caused the S&P to gap up. It caused the Dow to gap up. It caused the NASDAQ to gap up. And the gap up refers to this gap in price right here. It's actually a great thing. This is something that we've been talking about and been sharing for a while. Now, the scary thing about this chart is that it is relatively strong bullish on the daily, but the weekly chart is out of this world strong bullish. It's scary. I don't like this chart. Yes, we have a lower high slightly on the weekly, but weekly at 72 means that this is a strong bullish chart. We have 3 TBO breakouts on the weekly, almost in a row, and the cloud is up. Like, this is a strong bullish chart. Again, the reason why I'm wincing is because the last time we saw this setup, this exact setup, was way back here in 2014. We saw an early TBO breakout, a little bit of a pullback, but we saw the dollar index rise 17%, moving up from 84 all the way up here to 100. If we saw an increase of 17 or almost 18% on the dollar, that would push it up here to 129, a level that we haven't seen since 1985. Hear me and hear me well, okay? If the Dixie, the US dollar index, continues to bullishly pump higher, it will cause havoc on the euro, on the yen, on the pound, on the yuan. It will cause a lot of fear because a stronger dollar, and especially with all of the tariffs that Trump is starting to tease out, he even tweeted yesterday that he wants to get rid of the internal revenue service and he wants to have an external revenue service to focus more on tariffs. That's going to put a lot of pressure on trade with the US, and it's going to cause the dollar to increase, I assume, which is going to put pressure on other world currencies to keep up, and they might not be able to. A super ultra strong dollar is good for the US in a way, but it severely affects trade. So what will all of these people that are relying on trades or trading with the United States do? Well, the dollar is going to become too expensive. So what are they going to buy instead? They're going to be buying gold to evade sanctions. And they're also going to be buying, you guessed it, Big Daddy BTC. Because the beauty of Bitcoin is that you don't have to have it in a physical space. You just need to know your seed phrase. You can send hundreds of thousands, if not tens of millions of dollars in a single transaction to undisclosed parties. While it's all public on the blockchain, there are many countries that are already doing this, whether it's for legal or illegal purposes, okay? So the dollar increasing in the past has negatively affected the dollar. It has negatively affected the stock market. However, there is a chance that we could break away from this previous way of doing things, in that we're going to see the dollar become strong, but that means the United States economy will be strong. The S&P will go up. We'll see the Dow go up. We'll see the NASDAQ go up, which in turn will make Bitcoin go up. People will be buying, other countries will be buying Bitcoin to keep up with the dollar, all that fun stuff. I do expect this year to be a top year. I do expect Bitcoin to continue to move up to around $173,000 by November. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's still 100% possible. Just understand that a strong dollar is not always a really like, yay, this is an amazing kind of thing. It's a little bit scary, and I'm not really excited about it, to be honest. But Bitcoin is our saving grace, especially when we put Bitcoin against other currencies. Looking at Bitcoin against the yen, it's already made tons of new all-time highs. Like it goes up higher and higher and higher. If we do it against the Turkish lira, we all know that it continues to zoom higher and higher because these currencies are failing against the dollar. If we look at Bitcoin against the Canadian dollar, it's already up to 142,000. So Bitcoin wins long term, but the problem lies with the dollar. So I don't want to say that too many more times, because I think that's when we start to get really get annoyed. Thank you guys for joining. We're gonna just call it good. I teased you, tricking you. Okay, I'm looking up, not looking up. I'm looking at all of the comments and stuff, and just want to see if there are charts that you guys are asking for that I have not planned on. Oh man, IMO. Why? Sometimes I look at tickers and look at oh gosh, I can't even think of the right word. But like the shortened phrases, whatever, like IMO would be great. Like I'm sure there's a ticker for GM. I hate that, by the way. GM, I hate when people, sorry, I shouldn't say that because I'm in crypto, but man, I hate GM. So, ugh. But anyway, all this stuff. Anyway, let me look through a couple of these. Oh, there was a bit of news. That's right. I want to share something else with you real quick. Then I'm going to start going down a lot of these coins that I've highlighted here because of their price action recently. Over here on Discord, there's a lot of alerts that we send, but one of the most exciting ones that has flipped bullish is this one, the TBT forecaster. Now, this is a very simplistic indicator that we have available in the Better Traders Club. It literally tells us when alts are bullish or bearish, Bitcoin is bullish or bearish. Now, take it with a grain of salt, but it has been pretty darn accurate. It's ridiculous. And the fact that Bitcoin flipped back to bullish is a really good thing. And I want to show you this indicator. Let me prepare it over here. It's on the 4-hour chart. It's a lot easier not to show it all the time. So we're going to make this really boring like this. Great. Okay. This one for Bitcoin has been bullish ever since over here when BTC was at 64K, and it flipped bearish right here when Bitcoin was at 95K. It's a pretty good increase. Sometimes it's wrong. We see alts flipping back and forth. It's the lower value, and alts are still quote unquote bearish, which I kind of agree with. But the fact of the matter is that the TBT forecaster flipped bullish on Bitcoin. That's fantastic. Now it's still really early. Again, we really want to see Bitcoin go above not just $100,000, but really up to 103,000 and push up higher. But this is a great, great sign. And I wanted to share that with you before I forgot and before I dive into all of these altcoins. Now, all these red flagged ones, these are the ones that I want to share with you today. Now, things don't look that great, admittedly. They look pretty red. But honestly, this is after a very bullish close yesterday. So a lot of these have pumped and they already look not so great right now. But in reality, things are really, really, really nice. Okay, let me fix the scale over here first. Let's look at some of these altcoin charts. And if you haven't shared the video yet, it's okay. There's still time. Share the video. You can repost, retweet, whatever it is, re-X. And also like the video if you haven't already. Cool. So let's dig into some of these. So Solana. This one, yes, I have a couple of these that I'm too lazy to change the trade setups. This is actually a trade setup that I shared in the club. I posted it back here in late December. So we saw resistance right here. Price broke above, but really didn't hold above, fell down. Now it's back above. It's really playing with my emotions right now. Let me actually hide the long position. So that long position, we're still net profit, which is good. We're in the green. But we're struggling right now with this overhead line of resistance. The price is still inside of the cloud. It's not mega bullish, but having a nice 9%, almost 10% close yesterday is a good thing. Going over here to the 4-hour time frame, I want you to take note of this. You're going to see this over and over. See those two orange dots? Here's another one. Remember this? TBO close short. They're not always going to mark the bottom. Like here's one that was wrong. Okay, so I don't want to give the impression that this is always right. It's an indicator. It's non-biased. It's waiting for specific things to happen. Then it prints these symbols. The TBO does. These green triangles, these are different, but these also are pretty darn amazing as well. Note it shows a pretty good bottom, pretty good top, pretty good bottom. So we're looking at a good bounce from these TBO close shorts and TBT divergence, which is nice for Solana, but if it can't hold above this line, it's going to be a lot of this repeat and it's going to dump down. Now, given the fact that we have a Trump pump coming next week, I'm expecting Solana to hold above 200, but again, a lot of it is riding on Bitcoin's performance today. XRP, a lot of you are probably wondering about this one. This had a massive close yesterday. It closed up almost 18% in a day. That's huge. And the bigger part of this is that it closed above overhead resistance, which is incredible. Now, the truth about this chart, and I shared this in my live stream with the Coin Bureau guys last week, is that there's been an epic 4-year bull flag. A bull flag is determined by identifying the price, finding resistance, finding support, and it makes consecutively lower highs and lower lows until finally there's a break of resistance. Usually there's a retest and it shoots up higher, but this is the weekly, so we're not going to see that. But things are looking good. Now, XRP currently has a high of 320, the all-time high right here, just so you know, for all of you that are holding. Just want to give you a little bit of a reality check. All-time high is at $3.31. I fully expect there to be resistance and choppiness the closer we get up to 330. I mean, we just hit what level? I know, memory of a goldfish. 320. So we're not having like a major pullback by any amount. This is just a normal pullback after a massive one-day pump. The one thing I will say for XRP holders, this is a bullish TBO cloud. The slow line is pointing up very strong. Price is above the cloud. This is a very strong chart. On the weekly time frame, the TBO actually has breakouts on the weekly. We have 1, 2, 3 in a row. So this tells us that there should be bullish continuation to continue. So as much as I am wincing at the fact that XRP is really close to its all-time high at $3.31, I actually believe that XRP will push to higher highs. It will actually go up higher. Now, I don't know about right away, but there have been a lot of very exciting photographs with, I can't remember that guy's name ever. I don't keep track of people's names. It's terrible. But the XRP guy, everyone loves him. If you love XRP, you love the guy. But he posed with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, like XRP could have a spot ETF, which honestly is not that great, because what happened with the Bitcoin spot ETF after it launched? What happened with the Ethereum spot ETF after it launched? So I don't think it's the greatest thing ever, but people are excited about it. So I do believe that we could see XRP shoot up. So my reasonable target for XRP is up here around $8. I think that is reasonable. I would be way more conservatively considering taking profit here at like $6. And it's not a big increase from where we are right now. It's only like 100%. Now, I want you to notice that there are several Fibonacci extension levels that we need to be cautious of. Literally just wicked into one today or yesterday. And we have these two levels right here at 331. So just understand, like, I'm rooting for you. I really hope it goes up higher, but boy, oh boy, what a great place to consider taking some profit if you haven't yet. That's all I'm going to say. You don't have to. That's all I'm going to say. SHIB, Shiba Inu. Now, we're going to be talking about these guys. So these green triangles are not part of the TBO. They're called TBT divergence. This is available in the Better Traders Club and the Pro tier. So they do, their basic use is to show us when there is a divergence between price, RSI, volume, and several other factors, okay? Now we can see it called the top here amazingly well. I did not listen. I wish I did, but I did not listen. Mainly because there's one other factor that I pay attention to when it comes to this. Now, if I were just to use TBT divergence all the time, I might be wrong, but there will be times where it's not going to mark a really great entry. Back over here, boom. Back here was good, but the price went against us. Good, but the price dumped. Good right here, but the price pumped. Good, but we also made a new high. So I want to help you understand that these signals alone aren't like, I'm not going to like freak out and buy every time I see one of these. But when I see the slow line of the TBO, again, showing me the macro trend is up and we have TBT bullish divergence, that is a bullish sign. I love that. That looks really, really good to me. Admittedly, a lot more has to happen for SHIB to be bullish. There is a big lack of volume. On balance volume is not really looking that great. RSI is like neutral, but the point of these signals is actually to let us know before the chart has a significant reversal. That's what these things do best. Just like back over here, they let us know there's a high chance we see a lot of these grouped together that there's going to be some sort of explosive outcome. And I'm expecting the same for SHIB. Now, why SHIB? I don't know. I don't know if there's anything cooking under the covers for SHIB or whatever. Like, I don't even think that's an expression. Let's hope to God it's not, because that's awkward. But I don't think anything really is going to, I don't think there's any news to expect for Shiba Inu other than this is letting us know that price, volume, RSI, and some other factors are flashing some bullish reversal signals. So do with that as you will. You're going to see that echoed over a lot of these charts that I'm sharing. Again, AVAX. Avalanche doesn't necessarily look bullish at all, but the slow line is angling up. Volume isn't looking amazing. On balance volume is like meh, but we have a nice pump yesterday. The slow line's pointing up. That's a nice sign. Now you're going to laugh, but ton is also one of these charts. Now the slow line for this one is kind of pointing down. I don't really like the setup, but it's a bullish reversal signal. So it's kind of hard to go like, oh, I mean, if things are going to go crazy, and this is a super oversold chart that's been cursed for a while because of all of the garbage that the Telegram guy went through, it would not surprise me to see ton pump out of nowhere. Now, this one's an easier one to follow, mainly because Bitcoin Cash is directly correlated to the health and well-being of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is a fork of Bitcoin. They're devout Bitcoin Cash people. Some countries use Bitcoin Cash as a terms of payment, although I don't think it's a country, but it's like different vendors do. Personally, I think Bitcoin Cash is worthless. I would way rather hold Bitcoin than Bitcoin Cash. But when Bitcoin is bullish, Bitcoin Cash usually will overreact and it will outdo whatever Bitcoin does. Now, where Bitcoin does not have any of these TBT bullish divergence signals at all, Bitcoin Cash does. Where you see yesterday it pumped up 5%. It didn't actually outperform Bitcoin at all, really. But this is a good reversal sign, and the slow line is pointing up. So again, just trying to draw your eyes to a couple of these charts that I see the same pattern, same pattern forming over and over. Aptos has fallen a lot from its high set in December. It fell as much as 50%. It's still down about 38%. It's pretty rough, but RSI is growing. It's kind of hard to ignore. Volume isn't, on balance volume isn't, but volume is growing. Price is going down. This is divergence. And now TBT divergence is going ding, ding, ding. You're right. Now the slow line isn't necessarily pointing up for the TBO, but this is a good sign. The main thing that Aptos has in front of it is what I call a resistance fan. Now this is, I haven't seen anyone else do this before, but I honestly don't think it's, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. Let's be honest. So I don't think that this is an official way to do it, but essentially what I do for a resistance fan is I identify the high to the next high, that high to the next lowest high, that high to the next lowest high, and it basically makes like this fan shape. And what I use this for is basically to find and identify different levels of resistance or support. It can be used either way. Now, the price did move up yesterday to resistance, and it's being rejected just a little bit. But we do have something that's telling us we could see a bounce. We do see growing strength. Litecoin had a really amazing day yesterday, pumping up 14%. And I don't know if you guys are on X, if you're paying attention to whoever is in charge at Litecoin and their X account, but good grief, like they went from being really funny to real salty real fast. I'm going to be the first to tell you Litecoin has no purpose. They literally just copied Bitcoin's code and slapped on some cheaper fees. It takes just as long to send anything anywhere on Litecoin. It's not that much cheaper, especially with Bitcoin with Lightning. So anyone that's looking at Litecoin as a feasible coin that's like, oh, this is going to last forever, maybe because it's attained like OG status, but this is not like the most amazing new coin ever. Like it might have a diehard community, but most of those people just got duped into being holders. I have no qualms about saying that. And the chart tells the story, you guys. The chart tells the story 100% of the time. If I see a chart doing this, okay, this is the 2017 high. In 2021, if Litecoin really had some merit to it, we should have seen a higher high. This is not a chart that's screaming innovation, demand, everyone loves it. No, this is boring. This is terrible price action. There's no demand here. It's around because it's been around since 2013, but is it really improving? Is it doing anything? No. So Litecoin will pump because in my eyes, it's actually better traded as a meme coin, 100%. So when they posted a couple weeks ago that they now identify as a meme coin, honestly, that was the smart move. They should have kept that because it's trading like a meme coin, dumping 18% in a day, dumping how much over 3 days? 30% over 3 days, that's a meme coin. Pumping 14% in a day, that's a meme coin. So anyway, all this to say, this meme coin is good for trading. So I don't necessarily want to accumulate more Litecoin for reasons I just shared, but the slow line is moving up. The TBO on the 4-hour time frame, look at that, TBO closed shorts, those orange dots right there, just like back over here. So it did pump a little bit higher than the recent high right here in early January, or basically last week, 9 days ago. But a 4-hour pump of 10%, like you gotta be kidding me. Come on, guys. But Litecoin could go up higher, but it's more like the short term, like, yeah, it's okay-ish for trading. Let's keep going on. Kaspa. Now, Kaspa on the daily time frame is doing something incredible. It is printing not just a TBO close short on the daily, near support. I want to say that again because it's such a big deal. You don't have an idea unless you've been following me for a long time. These orange dots are my favorite entry signals, especially when we get more than one right here above TBO support, which is this green dotted line identifying support. Look at this one at 19%. That was crazy, but that was too late. It'd be better to see this happening like right here before the pump, but that's crazy. And TBT divergence, basically what, 2 days before that printed, bullish. That is a great sign for Kaspa. Now, is this like out of the woods? Is it going to go up and, you know, to infinity and beyond? No, not yet. But these are great bullish reversal signs. Now, on balance volume, in my opinion, it appears to have bottomed out. The fact of the matter is that we're not seeing any new lows on balance volume. That's good. It's chop solidating right here. I really would love to see it close more green candles so that the moving average continues to move up higher, which will reinforce the strength of the trend. On the weekly time frame, chart's not good at all. Just going to be straight up honest with you guys. Like, it's not good. Yes, volume was amazing. And yes, this is MEXC. It's not like the biggest possible exchange, but I want to choose an exchange that has a lot of volume. Now, we're not looking at a really strong bullish chart. With that said, knowing what's ahead of us, this could be the start of a good reversal for Kaspa, but there's a lot of headway it needs to make. It needs to push up a whole lot higher, but it was a good entry right there. Let's keep going. I'm going to go through my list and I'll look at your guys's, okay? Tia, Celestia. I know that Guy and Nick from Coin Bureau were not very, or I don't think that they weren't happy, but they were sure surprised that I shared this chart last week. And the reason why I shared it in the live stream is because I saw this. There's a TBT bullish divergence forming on the daily time frame. And we got another one of these on Tuesday. And yesterday it pumped 9%. That's not a coincidence. This is exactly how these guys work. This is what they do. They tell me when there's bullish reversal signals happening. When the slow line is flat or angling up, even better. Look right here. What are these orange dots? TBO closed shorts. Nearish support. What happens after that? Price shoots up 65%. I know that Tia is unlocking tokens like there's no tomorrow. I know that this is a broken protocol, as people say online. I don't really care. And I don't think that you should either, because so many of us get caught up in the unlock schedule, the events, the partnerships, all that stuff. We're not there in the market yet. When others dominance goes up to that level of resistance and breaks above it, then we can care about news releases. Then we can care about partnerships. Then we can care about forks and developments and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. But when we use indicators that are showing us where there's hidden bullish divergence like this, I care. I pay attention. Volume is very clear. Demand has dropped off a lot. I don't really care though, because this is a great reversal signal. So mark my words, Tia down here at $5.10, and it's fallen how much? From $20, it's still down 75%. It's not necessarily a new listing, but I am not going to be surprised to see this be a decent entry for Tia below the 236 fib retracement level too. I mean, there's a lot of headway. I know that it's flawed. I know it's not perfect, but as far as reversals go, this is a decent reversal signal. Could it still chop and fall back down here to 456? Absolutely. But that's why I have a stop loss in place on my open trade. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Let me show you over here. I'm playing a bit more with, here, where is this? Browser. Here we go. I'm playing more with CoinCatch. I made a review of this on the Coin Bureau Trading channel earlier this week. So I put my money where my mouth is. I had that open position that I shared. It was a good entry. Price went against me. I actually got stopped out in profit. And you can see here, I re-entered yesterday and right before the pump, which is great, took some profit on the way up, which is great. So now I've de-risked the trade and now the stop loss is in the profit zone. This is exactly what I talk about in my videos. This is exactly how you're supposed to do it. Now, I also want you to know that I don't get it right every time. I had a trade open on virtual yesterday. This one makes me upset because I entered and I got stopped out on a little bit of a pullback before the chart shot up 36%. Now, I would have loved to have raked in that profit. I missed it. And you know what? It's okay, because I would much rather get stopped out instead of be holding a losing position and it get liquidated, especially with leverage. So I put my money where my mouth is. I protect positions in profit and I use stop losses when you're using leverage. So let's go back. So Tia, as much as you may not agree with me on the protocol, the chart's telling me otherwise, okay? Hedera hash graph, or HBA. All right, if it was a Boston-based company, it'd be HBA. All right, so we got a good TBO cloud. We basically have a lot of chop happening right at the 786 fib level. But on the 4-hour time frame, I love what's happening because it keeps knocking over and over and over. It's probably, in my opinion, going to fall back down another 15% to 26 cents. But the fact that it's not making a lower price-based low is a good sign. On balance volume looks bearish. Volume is starting to pick up, but it's not really strong. But everything about this one is telling me this is going to break out to the upside, because I've seen this happen before. We see volume dying down, but it's holding and it's waiting to push above this price. When there's a Trump pump, I expect Hedera hash graph to shoot up at least to its current high at 57 cents or so, and it'll probably move up higher. But it's also already seen a bull market, so I don't expect it to go up that much more. Floki. Floki is doing okay. It's honestly been punished quite a bit. This is exactly how a meme coin should react. We have some bullish news, and we see charts like this pump up 125%, and we get a pullback, and it pulls back 50%. This is like Litecoin, right? Now, what do we have? TBT bullish divergence closed yesterday near support, closed up 6%. That's a good sign. Looking at RSI, we're seeing a higher low from on Monday compared to the low we saw on December the 19th. That's a good sign of bullish strength. Also, look at resistance right there. I totally missed that before. We have generally a high right there, high right there. See how it's a lower high? So that's resistance. It has to break above that. We have support right here to this higher support. So my expectation is, because it's a meme coin, Floki will most likely pump. We also have that Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, and that's going to be related indirectly to Floki's performance. So I think that we're going to see this do well. Also, the TBO slow line is pointing up. TBT bullish divergence, TBO slow line moving up. This could be a good bottoming signal. We could see Floki go back up here to TBO resistance. We're just going to say at 26, although there's a lot of zeros before that 26. Almost done with my list, and I'm going to look at yours. Nero. This one is, I'm going to be honest, I've been in this one for a while, waiting on this one patiently. Oh, it's been brutal. Now, we have another TBT bullish divergence yesterday, but the slow line admittedly is pointing down a lot. When this happens, this is basically a countdown timer. This is telling me that eventually the price is going to move to the upside. Eventually, we're going to see a bottom. Now, the truth is that RSI is showing us the right thing. We're not seeing lower lows. We're seeing higher lows-ish, but it's not amazing. On the 4-hour, however, we're seeing a really good sign. Now, we see TBT, bullish divergence, and this tab right there, that dark green one, this is showing us a cluster. A cluster is when we have more than 2 of these bullish diversions happening within a certain amount of candles. This is, again, a really good reversal signal. And we have TBO closed short, just like we had back here. And we saw Nero shoot up 39%. Now, Nero has been severely oversold. This is not the same Nero as there is on Binance. There are a couple of Neros. I'm holding out for this one. I'm just one of those silly guys, but I expect it to do well, especially because it's been super duper oversold. Bullish divergences, it might fall back down. I'm going to keep buying it as it falls because the payoff to me is pretty big. All right. Yes, you're probably wondering about SPX 6900. So this meme coin that I covered again on the Coin Bureau trading channel 2 weeks ago is still bullish. The price has been chopping inside of the TBO cloud. I don't like seeing that. That's a sign of bearish consolidation, but it's since closed above. Like, this is crazy price action, but look at on balance volume. Moving up. Look at that white line moving up. Trust it. That's a good sign of a strong chart. Oh, I'm not going to answer the door right now. I have TBO slow line moving up right here. This is showing a strong bullish vibe on the chart. Strong bullish trend. The price is consolidating a little bit inside, but I expect SPX to continue moving up higher. HEX is doing exactly what I was waiting for. And what exactly I was waiting for is this. When we have an RSI reset, which is when RSI falls down on the daily time frame below 25 and then up. That's a nice reset. We saw RSI fall and HEX fall a ton because of all these allegations coming out against Richard Hart from the SEC, and the price admittedly looking very, very bearish, especially after failing to push above resistance back here in mid-December. Now, right here, the price pumped yesterday 29%, and it's happened after this. Now check this out on the 4-hour. See all these guys? Remember what I've said, TBT diversions tell us not the first one on the 4-hour, especially the slow line, but when we see a lot of these making a cluster and TBO close short, that's a great reversal sign. Now, I don't expect HEX to immediately just go up and up and up and up and up, but this is a really, really, really good sign, okay? Now let's keep going. Got one more, then I'm gonna look at what you guys got. SmartX, do not fade this chart. This chart has actually been a huge gift to hold, basically because while Bitcoin has been bearish, chop solidating, this chart only fell 12%. It's actually helped to buoy my account. This is admittedly my second biggest hold. I am not kidding. SmartX is my second biggest hold behind Bitcoin. So I'm serious when I say this is a chart that I've been accumulating and waiting on for a while. I'll continue to wait on it. I love the chart. Okay. Woo. Take a little bit of a break. YouTube isn't showing me. Okay. Likes are so-so. That's okay. If you haven't liked the video yet, please do. This is your chance. Okay, now let me look at some of these charts that you guys have asked for after I've done my bit. And take a look at Zen. Yes, I will look at Zen. Ooh, there's only one Z. Horizon. All right, let me look at everything. Well, I mean, closing up 31% yesterday is pretty amazing. Let's just do it bit by bit, okay? Let's just do Fibonacci levels first. Okay, so this is almost like stair stepping. Fib levels are ridiculously powerful. You can see here, this was drawn ages ago. This is drawn from the high back here in what, May 2021 to the low in June 2023. Isn't it amazing how well the prices responded to these Fibonacci levels? Back here in December, nice Christmas pump, and it found support here. 3 days ago, bounce from there right to the 0.5. I love the fact that it's making higher lows. No, yes, higher lows when it has the pullbacks. That's good. The fact that it pumped up, gosh, 55% over 2 days is ridiculous. The TBO looks strong bullish. Again, there were signs of weakness here with TBO close long. This is the inverse of TBO close short. And I will say that if you haven't taken any profit out of this chart yet, consider taking just a teeny weeny bit, because when we see this, this is a bearish reversal signal telling us that the chart could be flipping bearish. So if you haven't taken profits yet, consider doing so, especially because the open long was way back here. And if you haven't taken profit at 150% or now 216%, consider taking some profit out. Now, if you just got in recently, well, that's your, you have to make that decision. TBT divergence, nothing bad happening. Slow line is pointing up. It's a great sign. Now looking at RSI, nice, crazy change from 25 up here to 68 in a matter of 2 days. That's a good sign. On balance volume, see this? Super strong trend, and pulling it down, not so great. Volume, single day pump, that's incredible. I don't know if there's news. There probably is news around this, but it's a pretty decent chart. Let me look at the 4-hour. Yeah, it's just be careful. Volume coming in is great, but daily is showing me that yes, the macro trend is bullish, but that's obviously a crazy 1 day pump, 31%, but it's a good chart. Just be mindful, just be careful. Okay. Let me see what else we got. Oh yeah, can I show you results of my bots? I did say I would do that. I have to change it, unfortunately live. So just give me a second. I'm gonna go to browser. Oh, you can see everything. There we go. I have to change the. There we go. So this is my Masa bot that I've been waiting on to close. Absolutely terrible. It's been in a downtrend. I'm down $131 and I really don't care. Mainly because this chart has been performing ridiculously well. Net profits are over $200. So even if I cut the rope right now, which I'm not going to, I'm just waiting on the price to pump up a bit more to hit my take profit target. Then I'll close out and then it starts up again. It's not a big deal. But this is how DCA works. I had my extra safety trade right there. I wish I waited a little bit more. It would have brought down my average a lot more, but I'm just kind of waiting on the price to shoot up. So I guess I'm waiting on the Trump pump. I also have these guys. I mentioned this in my snowboarding video. If you guys missed that last week, I actually took a day trip to go snowboarding, which was really fun, and talked a little bit about this automated trading with DCA bots where there's like an ASAP strategy as soon as possible, and also trend trading. And this is actually a trend trading bot. Even though this previous trade closed, unfortunately, in a loss, which is really, really frustrating, especially because it was up like 6%, much like this one is up right now. I don't want to see this fall down again, but I'm trying not to touch it so that way I'm preserving the integrity of the performance. But the beauty of this is that it's just going to be opening and I don't have to really keep track of it. So it just opens, it runs, it's up. So it's up 5%. I think I have one open for whiff as well. Similar story. This one opened up over here when I wasn't really aware of it at all. And it's since pumped since then, 13%, which is great. So again, automated trading is awesome. But it takes time. These trades for these automated ones right here, like the trend trades, take so much longer to close. This has been the longest trade that I've had open for Masa. So it's been a little bit like super boring because I'm used to it doing this, like a whole lot of crazy up and down and making a lot of profits, but I just got to wait. So yes, I wanted to make sure that I did that. Okay, let me go back to trading view. Let me switch this back. Let's see, Eigen. Yep. Let me check Eigen on Binance. Okay. Let me fix this. Oh, it's a relatively new listing too, which is good. New listings have a lot of promise. Let me get rid of that. So see what I mean? TBT bullish divergence, TBT bullish divergence. This one was on the pump. This one was before the pump and the price shot up 127%. It's pretty good. Let me actually change this. I mean, it's pretty significant pullback, but hey, it's a new listing. So that's kind of what happens. It's technically strong bearish in regards to the TBO, but it had an RSI reset right here. So when the RSI goes below 25 and then it crosses back up, that's what I claim as an RSI reset. It's actually a really good sign. Like look back over here in November. So here's the RSI reset and then the price pumped up 45%. So we just had an RSI reset, price pumped up 15%-ish. It has overhead resistance and it needs to break above this level first, but I think it will. I mean, it's Binance, it's a new listing. I've seen a lot of posts about EigenLayer on Coin Bureau or from Coin Bureau. So I know that there's a lot of reasons why they talk about it. I trust their analysis. They're good guys. They know what they're doing. TBO closed short recently. TBT bullish divergence, but slow lines down. Not so great. But yeah, I mean, we should see it probably come down again before testing. But when it breaks above overhead resistance, then EigenLayer will go up 50% or so back to the high here at about 565. Let me keep going. Why 21, the smooth moving average, 21 on balance volume? I don't know, Miles, but that's what I use it. That's why it works really well. That's why. USDT dominance, I did that. Vera, does Vera have a chance? Look at that. That's crazy. You're asking, you shall receive. So you got a slow line that's kind of moving down, not so good, but TBT bullish divergences right there, two of them. What happened last time? Vera shot up 116%. Look at last time too. There was a TBT, getting all this stuff mixed up. RSI making consecutively higher lows. RSI reset, then there's the pump. We actually had an RSI reset right here. And note what's happening with RSI. Now we have higher lows, higher lows. So Vera does have a chance. Vera should be moving up. And Vera, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of a new listing. Not really. Go to the weekly. Oh, even on the weekly in November had a TBT bullish divergence. That's a great, great sign. So Vera has a chance. Easy has a chance. Going up here to like the 0.5 level. Yeah, at 7 cents, that's reasonable, I would say, for Vera. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, especially when things get bullish. Yeah, it's just going to take a lot of volume. And the price point is right for people to buy a chart like that. Let me keep going. Let me keep going. I already did that. ADA, crypto chick, you bet. If you're still here. Virtual, I am going to do that one. I showed that chart. That was embarrassing. ADA, Cardano, slow lines bullish. Volume is okay-ish. It's cracking. Let me go to this instead because I know Binance has way more volume. Volume is still not meeting it for my liking. I really want to see this moving average go up higher, but that means volume has to consistently meet or exceed that level day over day over day over day over day. We saw a massive pump because of the Trump pump. I expect that to continue to happen. But as much as I love you, DZ, I don't see Cardano going up to some crazy high number. It just has so much history. It's a much more boring chart now. But in a bull market, charts like this just go absolutely crazy. What we want to look out for are these guys, TBO breakouts on the weekly. If we see TBO breakouts on the weekly, that'll be a great sign, but we're not seeing anything like that yet for Cardano. With that said, I don't think it's anywhere close to getting to the top. Nope. Still has plenty of time. So it's a sleeper right now. It's top 10. It'll do well. It'll probably exceed the all-time high. I think a reasonable target for Cardano would be up here like $6. It's like a 4x. I mean, I would say that's reasonable to expect. Okay. What are we doing on time? Oof, I got 7 minutes left, and then I got to go. Oh, yeah. Let's do Sui, because that one made a new all-time high. Yeah. Last week it did. So slow. Okay, so I want you guys to see this. I want to make this as clean and clear as possible. When we have a chart like this with a slow line moving up, like look at the angle of that. It's not going straight up. You won't find that. But that's a really strong macro bullish trend. Now, when we have TBT bearish divergence signals like this and this, I don't get worried, because if the slow line is moving up, it's too early. Well, not inevitably, but eventually we'll have some sort of pullback, but it's not the top for a chart, in my opinion. When we have a macro bullish slow line like that, Sui is still a strong bullish chart. I do think that Sui makes way more sense as a DCA bot chart, mainly because of all the whips and the dips. If we were just to look at price action like this, seeing it go down like that, 27%, 15%, like these are some pretty brutal sell-offs, but it's around the same percentage, about 20%, 22, 24, 28, 15 kind of, but in total 20%. I would look to set up a DCA bot to handle drawdown up to 20% and then passively accumulate. If you're going to just buy it, that's fine, but you can use a bot like I'm doing with Masa to accumulate a chart like this. I think Sui is worth paying attention to. The only thing that I'm looking at here that's not great is RSI is showing that it's not as strong. Last week, 2 weeks ago, RSI was overbought at 76, which is actually a good thing. We want it to be overbought on the weekly. But if this starts to fall down more, or it can't go back up here to 83 or higher, then be careful with Stewie, because it could have a major pullback. But with that said, look at on balance volume, massive. Look at volume, it's really good. So it's a strong chart. It's just chop solidating, as I like to say recently. Let's do A8, Ancient 8, which is a new listing, and this is why new listings are so good. I have a video on my channel that talks about new listings, how to 10x your portfolio in 2025, something like that. Some gimmicky title that works because it's YouTube. So look, we have groups of TBT bullish divergence, decent pump, price falls, not worried about it. But what do we have? What are we really waiting for? This. When we get an extreme sell-off on daily RSI and then we see it cross up like that, boom, that's it, right? Like that's the entry signal right there. And then A8 pumped, massive, pumped up 600%. Now, Tuesday, it had a really good day. Tuesday had a really, really, really nice day. Lo and behold, TBT bullish divergence, TBO closed short, pretty nice, but it's not out of the woods yet. We had some early warning alerts here with a cluster, a little bit of a pullback, but because it's a new listing, because it's on Coinbase, I do expect A8 to go up higher. I want you to see again at how reliable Fibonacci extensions are. Look at that. I mean, how do you argue with me on this? How do you argue with me? The 272 and the 618 extensions are rejection levels. Crazy. So it'll probably shoot back up to 50 cents, pull back again, and then it will go up higher, and it'll probably go up to like the 2, which is probably at like $2 or something like that. Because it's a new listing. It hasn't experienced a bull market before. And it's on Coinbase. People see it's under $1, they're going to buy a little bit. They'll buy more when it pumps. Seen it happen a million times before. I gotta do one more. Let's see. I see Athena coming up. Is it from the same person? Yes, 3 times. Okay, I have to at least appease people when they're pleading over and over and over. All right. This will be the, I think this will be the lesson. Let me check though. All right, so TBO slow line, is it pointing up? Yes. Macro bullish? Yes. Do we have some bearish pullbacks? Yeah. It's struggling to get above the 786, but it's holding above 618, which is good. Athena won't be bullish again until it goes above the cloud, which I expect to have happen. Yesterday was a good close. It needs to push up a lot higher. Looking at RSI, it didn't have a full reset. It went down to 2509, but it's pretty close, close enough. And it's amazing how quickly the price reacts to that, isn't it? Look at that. That's insane. Weekly time frame, not so great. Weekly RSI falling like this shows a lack of strength. Volume is so-so. It's not greatly exceeding, but it's okay. On balance volume, kind of okay. So it's not like an incredible chart, but if you like the protocol, if you like what they're doing, if you like what they're trying to, if they're doing something new and innovative, cool, go for it. And the fact of the matter is that Athena has not experienced a proper bull market because it listed back here in April 2024, albeit a terrible time to list a token, but how could they have known? And it saw a drawdown of up to 85%. We've seen this a million times before. Look at the charts for DOT. Look at the charts for Link, for Solana. Gosh, it's like you see charts list, they fall 85, 90% only to shoot up 10,000%. It's crazy. I'm not saying that's what I expect for Athena, but it's struggling right now to prove that it has value. We'll say that much, okay? Awesome. All right, you guys have been great. I got to stop because it's 11 for me, 11. I got to go, I got to run. So thank you so much for joining me. I want you to make sure that you watched the video that's on, gosh, how do I do this real quick? I don't have that set up. Where is it? view my channel. Here we go. And I have to change this too because I didn't fix this back. There we go. This is going to help a lot. How to 10x your crypto portfolio in 2025. Pay attention. All these new listings are going to be really, 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 really helpful to you. The Bitcoin plan for this year, talking about the top year, this is going to help you out a lot. But understand that there's a lot that has to happen, namely with others dominance going up higher. If others dominance doesn't go up and break above resistance, if things don't go well leading up to Monday, you can kiss all this goodbye. So if you're in profit, protect profit, take some profit, consider it, because we are not guaranteed that things will always be bullish in crypto. And this is the year that you want to identify those targets at which you want to take profit. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this impromptu live stream. If you did, where's the thing? Okay, good. If you did, like the video, share it. I'm trying to do this week over week or every week, but it's crazy with my schedule right now. But I'm glad I can hang out with you guys today. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.